November 9, 2022. Marcus Giovanni here. Governor Ron DeSantis at Governor Ron DeSantis. YouTube handle by Marcus Giovanni. Now, when I got an opportunity to index him, it's amazing because he he's now the new superstar. And what these elections did is that we haven't had enough people come out of the closet. If there was the red wave, the reason why there wasn't the red wave is because, especially with Oz, I already predicted Oz. You can Google search it. But when you when you're a surgeon and you make fun of somebody having a stroke, like Oz did, he's a heart surgeon. People don't care. They don't understand what a heart surgeon does. That's why you're a heart surgeon. You stand alone. But what happened was when people started going after, um, when he started going after the other candidate for his stroke, and that he needed things to talk about and all that, man, he suffered a stroke and he was still there. I mean, give the man credit. And so that's what happened. That's why Oz lost. He went and him and everybody, the Republican Party, if you will, questioned his ability, the guy's ability, and so he messed up his words. That he had a stroke. There, he's still there. He's still fighting. We know what the fuck he's talking about. That's why he won. And Oz and none of them will ever even come close to thinking of it because that's their. He's a heart surgeon. He thinks he's God. That's what they do. My mom worked with Dr. Dietrich. Ask him if he's ever heard of Dr. Dietrich. Of course he has. My mom would help him in the operating room. My mom was the head of the emergency room and the ICU unit in St. Joseph's Hospital back in the 70s. And it was crazy. But anyways, when you think about all this and where it goes, and he's the new face, folks. I did the algorithms. I can tell you right now that when he talks with substance. When he talks, people listen. And he, look at that, he got his voting down. His state's done. Way bigger than Arizona. And didn't Arizona have a problem with their voting rights? You got the wrong people. You know, a woman running for office that's ahead of the voting. And so the people that put her there, oh well, she it don't make sense. Why does Florida always come in number one? That's the new, that's the new Apple. It used to belong to New York City, but what happened is when New York City came out and they started telling everybody that the crimes in your head, and they all started voting based off of the hopes and dreams that it was all in their head. But when they went outside, so this is what I mean by they can't flip the switch until there's a balance. And right now, everybody, the Oprah Winfrey, the Clintons, they pushed everybody back to being where, like the movie. I can't say that. Just the way things, the very last minute, the red wave turned into um, like a swell. But it did. They did win in some key positions, but Florida needed to be the number one state in the union to bring civility back to Florida. And when all the Latinos and all them people, now all the people that voted, they all realized that they made a bad decision, because that's what voting is. We're allowed to change course. Okay, this is what it is. This is what happened during the time you had it. No offense, nothing personal, but we need to change back to Republican just to get us off that. I mean, because when Trump was, president, gas was cheap, food was cheap, but he was he wasn't diplomatic enough. And when you hear Trump talk now, Google search "Social Truth" by Marcus Giovanni. See, we're working with a bunch of people that are spinsters. Ron is not a spinster. And people are going to realize that um, spinsters don't work on the internet. Just like when Trump came out and said, I know some bad things about. See, he turned into a little gossip bitch that he is. He can't. He doesn't know how to shut his fucking mouth, and so that's why he doesn't know who's really on his team. And Americans have already decided who's going to be the next president, folks. It'll be Ron DeSantis, and because we're not going to go and listen to. I heard part of the speech that Trump. I feel like I'm back in 19 fucking 2016 and watching them tell how gross the media is instead of just ignoring them. Let artificial intelligence do that work for you, Mr. President. But we already know when you Google search Truth Social by Marcus Giovanni, you'll get a whole idea of what those people are. And see, they can bullshit. They've been so good at bullshit in the mortal world because of flash money. But when it comes to the digital world, um, we're not all created the same. And the people with money, organically speaking, you're not going to be the most powerful person. You're going to be the one paying for the organic content of people that really know how to do it, like myself. So this was a referendum, if you will, on what the next few years are going to look like with Biden, and now they're going to be able, if it goes true. I mean, things are weird. It could switch because it's so close that Democrats still control everything, and then they'll have 2 years to finish this off. And you can count, and everybody that voted, they're gonna go, "Oh God, man, why did I vote that way? What am I fucking stupid?" Think about it. It's like people who get off the wagon and then they make a mistake and get back on the wagon and they go through this guilt trip and all their families are like, "Wow," and whoa, I gotta start all over. They were sober for 2 years and now they had a drink, and so now they gotta start over. Are we all alcoholic drug addicts? Because that sure seems to be the way we're all headed to as far as our community patrons that hang out in our street, pee in our streets, fuck in our streets. And when you think about Ron DeSantis, governor, he don't allow any of that. They have law and order, and that's the way it is, needs to be. Because we're heading to Sodom and Gomorrah. And when New York figures out that because they voted based off ideology, based off of all the things that we were told, they're going to take a hit in January 1. They all are, every one of them. And it's funny because the IT people of these people won't tell the people because they don't know themselves. So it's easy to go, oh, fuck them. He don't need Giavanni and all his people and the other people. They were all that node connection and artificial intelligence. They're just bullshit. There's people that actually think that, folks. And so we can pull them people up and then we just write content about them and then they head to the dark web. You know what I mean? So Ron DeSantis is the new Republican superstar that is attracting Latinos and blacks. And once they get over this next 2 years and they realize that nothing's going to change, everything's still going to be expensive, but by Republicans having the House, they'll be able to at least stall it enough to where it'll just be a lame duck presidency, and we just got to pray that we make it to the next time. Because if you look at what Ron DeSantis did with his whole entire team, he didn't do it by himself. You look at the people when he does all his interviews, he's got his people. He shows his team. He's proud of his team. And it's what on Google and everything else, it's all about the team. Not one person can do it all because you're not worth it on Google if you have to do everything by yourself to a point. Like I'm allowed to do everything by myself because that's what I do. That's my niche. I verify and I create YouTube handles and all social handles. They're called social. Well, not legally, but just industry starter is a retail social symbol, which is your common ones, your hashtag and @. When you think about your email, I've been trying to tell people this. Our emails have the @ in it. That's our handle. And so those handles, all that information on those emails are stored in the cloud, even if you throw them away. Now, it depends on who you are. Like if you're a hidden criminal, then that stuff will stay in the cloud so that police officers and other law enforcement agencies will be able to extract that information from the cloud using your voice. They're called voice latent prints. And that's what we're doing now, is teaching people why our content goes to in and why it goes so high real quick. Because we're organic. Our content is designed to be the foundation for Google Ads at the top and at the bottom. So anybody running for mayor of Denver and they brag about raising money, or they spend money on YouTube or any type of electronic, our content is designed to migrate to their voices. Because that's what we do. We write content that artificial intelligence uses to verify and to allow its end users the knowledge-based trust information they need to better for the betterment of their lives. It's that simple. And what Desantis is showing is that no matter what they do to him, he keeps growing. And so now what's happening, when I tell you that they should have flipped a switch 2 years ago. But the more and more people come out, this is the social credit system scores and rankings. When more people come out of the closet, where they're going to pick on Ronnie and they're going to pick on the Republicans and they're going to just keep this hate thing going, what happens is all those voters that voted for him, they will start to morphin into the hate. And they morphin in their website. Everything they go to will be everything that they promised us that they eradicate, but only to enable. Their lives are going to be that turmoil forever. The only way to get off it is throw their devices away, and they'll be free. Everybody will be free as soon as you just throw your device away. You don't have to close your accounts. You have to do nothing, because you can't close your accounts. Nowhere can you close your account. They say it's closed, but it's not closed. If you get any of these websites, you're done. That's how artificial intelligence works. And Denver is going to be the leader. It's going to be more powerful than the whole entire state of Florida if everything goes to plan. But we're not trying to be the most powerful city. We want to be the most powerful state. And we do that by creating platforms of authority that gives us that authority to be able to bloviate, if you will, because that's what Denver does. They bloviate. They humble brag. You look at everything they do, and it's just sloppy kisses, patting on the back. They got their nose so far up everybody else's. You know what? They got caca on the tips of their nose, and now you can smell it, see it on the digital world we all live in now. If you don't live in a digital world, then you don't got nothing to worry about. You are the most freest person of all people. It starts with your computer and your cell phone and your internet. And they got TVs that have cameras on them that can, everything you do in a room is getting recorded. When you walk in, it automatically gets turned. It's already on. It's not off. Like when you turn off your cable TV, okay, you think it's off? Take your channel changer and change the channel. Like turn it off on the channel that you have. Change the channel after you see the light off on your TV. Change the channel and then turn your TV back on, and guess what? It'll be on the channel that you put it on. Like you have to use the channel up or down, and you just pick it. Go 1, 2, 3 up, and then you look, and it'll be 1, 2, 3 up. So it never shuts off. You have to unplug that box to be disconnected from the grid. Nobody told me that when I bought it.